Good morning, Tina Mitchell here, your local mortgage expert and your host of Coffee with a Superstar. My show is with real estate agents for real estate agents, where I interview the best of the best in the industry so you can hear what they're doing and how they're doing it. Each week we travel to our superstar's office, so you personally are invited behind the scenes of their business. And this morning I have Robin Adelsman with Keller Williams. And Robin, I'm so happy to be interviewing you today.
As am I. I love Tina.
Yeah, Robin and I go way back from Women's Council of Realtors, which I'll share in her bio. And one of the reasons that she's is a superstar, she closed 50 transactions last year. So based on the number of deals, that definitely qualifies for a superstar. But also she gives a lot of her time back to her community with Women's Council of Realtors, and that's where we go way back because we both served on leadership, and so we get to have trips together and stay in the same room together, and so I built a really close bond and friendship with Robin, but she is so deserving of being here. She's been in the industry for 20 years, and she's followed leadership and been involved, as I said, with Women's Council of Realtors, which is serving customers and helping homeowners and realtors by being involved in protecting homeownership rights. And so obviously, without further ado, talking with my superstar, I always like to start out, Robin, to ask, what do you contribute your success to?
Well, I think that after 20 years and a lot of just working and hitting the pavement hard, I've kind of found who my target customer is and finding out who your who is. And when you really find that target customer and focus on them, I think that that's really where it allowed us to go to the next level, because you can relate to them better. So knowing who your target customer is.
And I think that is so true. I talk about that a lot, embracing your uniqueness so you can find out who is most likely to work with you and want to support your business. And I think so many people, regardless of what sales, but especially in the real estate space and the mortgage space, think that they need to take every single client that comes to them, when the reality, if you're not serving the clients that are best for you or the clients that want to work with the process that you have to work with, it's going to be wasting a lot of time. Or if you're trying to go out and search for clients that may not be your perfect fit, whereas like Robin, she's really narrowed the clientele that is most likely and most like her to work with her, then they can really target that particular group of people, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, love that. So Robin, since no matter if you're a superstar or not a superstar, we all have challenges that we face in our big business. So what is the biggest challenge that you've faced and how have you overcome that?
Having to deal with growth. I think that we always want to lead with revenue, and sometimes our growth kind of pushes us instead of paves the way.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to always lead that way. And so I tend to don't like to take big chances. And so that is probably the biggest struggle and has slowed me down. So, but at the same time, you just got to break free and have faith and really move forward and put those processes into effect, because that's everything.
Yeah, and I, knowing you as long as I have and seeing you reach out and start building a team, because just like most entrepreneurs, we feel that we have to be in control of everything. And once you realize that that is the worst mistake that you can make, is to try to do everything yourself, but instead to be able to delegate to people that most of the time are actually better at doing some of the things that we're not good at doing, or that we don't have time to do. And I think really when you started building your team, that's what kind of really served you at a really high level, correct?
Oh yeah, I was born in Switzerland and I'm Swiss cheese, so I got lots of holes. Lots of holes there. Oh yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, and so when did you hire your first assistant?
Well, we did that about 3 years ago. Yeah, 3 years.
We actually have one of our team members across on the camera with one of my team members, Victoria. I'm just getting a hot flash all of a sudden. This is Facebook Live. It is what it is. So so that's great, Robin. So really, what you did
just makes
is
you
realize.
Glow, see, she glows. See, she glows.
Where's that fan? So that's really great that you and you talked about too about getting out of your own way.
Oh God, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, just not doing, finding what you're good at, know what you're good at, and then really doing just that and filling those spaces around you. And so that's really made a big difference.
Yeah, sometimes as an entrepreneur, being that we're our own boss, we need to get out of our way because there's no one that's there telling us what to do. So it makes it a little harder sometimes to make those right decisions. And I want to go back to the hiring for a team, because I always have people ask me that I coach and work with in the real estate space and mortgage space, is when do you know is it the right time to hire a team member? And my answer always is, if you're asking yourself if it's the right time to hire a team member, that's when you really need to release, because you're telling yourself you've got too much on your plate and you're not really sure what to do with all of it. And so think about, and the biggest thing is being able to delegate, again, especially as an entrepreneur, because you may think that you're the only one that can do the job. You're going to do the job better than anybody else because it's your business. But the reality is, and so letting someone be able to make a mistake is critically important, because the reality is if you're doing all of that by yourself, I want you to ask yourself a question. Would you ever make a mistake? And of course you would. You're going to make many, many mistakes. So you need to allow for your team to be able to make those mistakes as well, because otherwise you'll never get yourself to the next business.
Call it growth.
You call it growth, exactly.
Breakthroughs.
Yeah.
And so, yes, and to go, I think that is what I've realized, especially with the team. We as realtors, we go into different situations every day. And the difference is we're fixers, or at least and I'm definitely that. And so we'll get a situation, no matter how this house is being sold, and we're going to fix that and make it the best. Well, with a team, you can't always be there to fix everything, and that's not what the purpose of the team is. You got to figure it's a different relationship, and so it's a longer term relationship, and so it's just different. And so having to hold that different hat, and then of course your home hat, and the reason why we're doing all of this, and to be able to hold all those different hats and carry that process, it's not easy.
Yeah, and that person that's in that role, that's what they want to do, is they want to fix it. They want to fix whatever is in their role. And like Robin said, I mean, if you want to live the life that you want to live, enjoy your family life, you can't do everything all on your own. No. So Robin, for our real estate agents, because again, this show is with agents for real estate agents, is why I was inspired to create this show, is because I wanted other agents to be able to sit back every Wednesday morning at 11 o'clock for just 30 minutes, so time block this in your calendar, and really hear from the best of the best, because it's inspiring and it's motivating to be able to take their business to the next level. So if somebody's sitting there today and just really wanting to know a great marketing tip, what would be out of your many things that you do marketing wise, what is your favorite tip that you can share?
My favorite marketing tip is really to focus on your property and really delve deep into it and figure out who your target buyer is. We have this upcoming, big market of millennial buyers. And so to start catering to what their needs are. And we have such multi-generational buyers and sellers, to understand the needs of each one. And this neighborhood, if we're going to be going into an $800,000 neighborhood, or a $1 million neighborhood, or a 300 or a 400,000, what is our target buyer? Really understanding what that market is, and being able to cater that home around that market, and so that way you're helping your customer the best.
So again, that kind of goes back to the right customer for you and the right buyer for that house as well. And so you were talking about some of the things that you've done for your recent in targeting that market, to make sure that you're accommodating with your website that you were doing for a recent listing that you had. So really doing some things that are specifically, if you're selling a house for on the water, then what can you do to really target those people that would be buying on the water? You have a beautiful farm on gorgeous, gorgeous home with horses and everything, which I've had a privilege to spend some girl time there before. But so if somebody was buying Maggie's still there. I love Maggie, love Maggie. If someone was buying your home, I mean, that's a very, very special buyer. And it may be more common thought that home would be a special buyer, but I think every home has that targeted market, like you talked about. And now with technology and all of the AI available for technology, that you can really target through technology to find those buyers, which is very, very, very cool. So call to action, whether somebody is listening that's a new agent in the industry or an agent looking at getting their business to the next level, what would be a call to action you would give them that they can do right now after they listen to us today?
If I could save you guys time, first thing, you were about 3 hires away from being great. And so really get a transaction coordinator. And if you don't want to, get over it.
Yeah.
Just do it. And then hire a great assistant and have somebody that believes in you and works alongside with you to help you. Because it will free up your time to do what you do best. And if you can figure out exactly what you do best, besides finding that target customer, really, if you do what you do best, you're going to be happier in that role, and you're going to do a far better job in that role.
Yeah. And again, if you remember, right, Robin first added to her team just about 3 years ago, which means that she was doing 17 years and still at a very, very high volume by herself. So it's kind of nice
pretty frazzled.
Yeah, exactly.
She knows. She met me when I was frazzled. So see, this is.
I told her she needs an assistant.
Oh yeah. Everybody said this. Completely
Yeah.
said that. And part of that, part of building my business has also been with Women's Council, just
Yes.
because, and leveraging your business, doing something different, doing something outside the box. Where most realtors, how do you set? I was asked the question, how do you make yourself remarkable? And I'm just 5'3" short white girl with no accent. I don't have anything. I don't have any cool selling features. I'm just short. That's no selling features. So other than everybody who sees my roots. So that's the reality here. So that without having a cool accent or making it really neat, I'd love to have an English accent. I'd have a lot of fun with that.
So you can rock it.
Oh, I'd have total fun with that. But we don't have that. What can we do to make ourselves remarkable? Think outside the box. Do something different than everybody else does. My marketing, everything that in my business that I have done strategic wise and growing over the years. And Women's Council has been part of it.
Yes.
Women's Council has been a little bit of a labor of love because I care about the industry.
Yes.
It's wonderful to network with other realtors in the industry. And until you start doing it, you don't realize the importance of those relationships. Because 90% of the homes are sold by the top 10% realtors. Mm-hmm. And these realtors are parts of these groups. And so there's nothing better when I can say, hey, I have a customer that wants to look up north here and have a great referral, which I just gave one to my favorite Stephanie McCarthy, and she sold a house in Briar.
Which her and Kyoki were superstars our second time around.
Absolutely. And so, and these relationships are phenomenal. And so, and you did the loan on that house, which I love. And so here's these great connections of amazing people, happy customers all the way around. And it just is those relationships, you can't replace that. And we're trusting our customers, and you have somebody that's so good.
Yes.
Of course you're going to trust it to them. And I knew that would be a perfect fit, and it was.
Yeah.
And so it was like, yay. So, because there's no possible way we can be in those many places all that time. You just can't. So there's so many opportunities out there.
To be able to connect and get involved. And I think that was also great for you because there's so much work behind the scenes that you have to do when you're part of a leadership and on the board. And so you have to you really be committed to doing that. But I think that probably helped as well in bringing in a team, because that was kind of like the final push. I really need to get somebody in. So that was just a blessing in disguise. And I've said before, I think as a real estate agent, I think there's missed opportunity in connecting with other agents, especially ones that are in a different place. I mean, we're here today in Kent. That's how special Robin and what she does, and I just really wanted to bring her in front of all of you. But Kent isn't that far away from Bellevue. So if you work in Bellevue, reach out to your Kent and your Federal Way and your Puyallup agents. You've got the data. You can get into the MLS and you can see who is the best of the best. Reach out to them, ask to take them out for lunch, ask who they're using to refer their business to, because the 1 percentile, the best of the best, are not going all over Washington State to sell real estate. And so connect and build those relationships. So they have to go somewhere. Why not it be you? And I think that's such a missed opportunity in B2B partnerships that is easy, low-hanging fruit, because nobody really does it. So unless they're getting involved in boards and things and they're meeting naturally that way. But you can be really strategic and
I think we all
connect.
think we can do it ourselves. The reality, you just can't.
Yeah.
You can't, and not give good service. And so I think that's where you have to have the customer understand that, hey, you're the guard of the gate, but you've got a great group behind you of support.
Yes.
And the only way to be great is to have great behind you.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So true. So true. So, favorite book or speaker or coach that's made a difference in your business and your life, who would that be?
Well, I can say that by coming to Keller, and so coming to Keller here, Keller's changed my life. They have taken me kicking and screaming. You can ask my wonderful Laura over here, kicking and screaming. Our personalities are labeled, so we have that DISC profile, and I vomit my D all over everybody every once in a while, which is very difficult. Not so fun for any of us, and but it's part of that growth process for us to realize and accept, and be able to grow. That's a very difficult thing to do, to grow and change. So I would say John Maxwell. Is the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership is a book that changed my life.
Yeah.
Keller, the KPA, it's a Keller personality assessment.
The One Thing.
The One Thing's a great book.
Amazing book, totally in line with my Embrace Your Small Successes.
Absolutely. This is like giant success. This is like, we put a heart around her, giant success. Anyway, so it had great books. I would say those changed my life. The Keller personality assessment just nails me to the wall. Yeah. And it's just like, and the greatest part is, it's like, wow, I know what I'm not good at. So let's fill in those holes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's going back to the team and why it's so important when you're building a team. You have to find that right person, not the person that's like you, but the person that is different than you in their skills and their talents and what they love doing. And that
they love to do the things you don't like to do.
Exactly.
That's what
I know. I love it that Victoria loves all the techie stuff and creating stuff, and Mark, my loan coordinator, loves coordinating loans. Oh my gosh. So yes, it's great to have that team.
Yes.
Where's majority of your business come from, Robin?
About 60% of our business comes from the radio. And then the 40% will come from Sphere Pest clients. I'm a Dave Ramsey ELP. I'm also a BECU agent, referral agent there. And we have a big Sphere. So we've been busy.
Yeah. And so that actually I've never really asked you about. I didn't know about the BECU. So would you encourage people in real estate to go to their credit unions and see if they can build relationships there for a B2B partnership, or what is that?
BECU is a great lender. So there's a lot of great lenders out there. So that's kind of part of that referral program.
Yeah.
What I would encourage credit unions. There's a lot of, I happen to be sitting next to this amazing lender, and she's really cute, and she's actually phenomenal. So I probably would say, hey, Tina.
All righty. Makes great sense.
Yes.
So right now, what are you guys doing as a team that's really exciting you? What do you guys have going on? Behind the scenes or out front?
Just growing. Inventory is extremely low right now, and so everybody's
It's so funny, it's low for you guys and it's not for us. So, but anyway, sorry for the rant.
Well, we're just not seeing, I think, Snowmageddon, and up north, it was kind of like snow hangover.
Yeah.
It just wasn't going away. It just, it wasn't hurting anybody because the streets were cleared, but there were still piles everywhere. So snow hangover. And so it just wasn't going away. So it's hard to take really good pictures and get those houses on the market up there. So anyway, there's just not as many houses on the market as it seems that the buyers are wanting.
You guys kind of trail a little bit from what the east side and Seattle market sees, right?
Well, in October, November was different than it is now.
Yeah.
So, and I think just everybody's kind of getting ready for the spring, but I've had a lot of appointments, and there's going to be a lot of homes coming on because I'm not the only busy one. So. Yeah.
So going into what you think's coming up in the market in the next 12 months, what do you feel?
Well, the reports that we keep hearing is that values are going to stabilize, or kind of buyers are afraid to overpay. Buyers, you know, but with the inventory low, if they want it bad enough, I think they're going to give a seller their price.
Yeah.
They just don't want to overpay for a home. So that seems to be the current trend. But we have seen a few offer over. So I think it just depends on the home.
Yeah. And I think on that note, it's really important. And I obviously have to deal with this on the mortgage side as far as numbers. I shouldn't say I have to. It's really what I enjoy doing is giving options and educating on different loan programs and talking about the bond market and the rates and kind of how that all comes together, what that means for the economy or not. And so as a real estate agent, if you're doing great things, you're educating at a very high level with your clients and showing data and, you know, correct? Yeah, so I think a shout out to make sure you really know what's happening in your market from a week to week basis and understand kind of what the trends are showing, and also to really bring in, because there's always a positive and negative to every market. If we're in a really great market, there's a negative to that, but it's a little bit less that people are seeing that piece of it, but there's always a balance. But when we're in a negative market, to really be able to point out right now today, what are those good things that are happening in the market, even though the market may seem like there's some challenges going on from a consumer standpoint, right? Yeah. So Robin, outside of work, because you work so many crazy hours, you got so many things going on with your leadership with Women's Council, what's important to you? Why do you work so hard?
You know, we have had the nicest fall. I have to admit, it just hasn't been as rainy and wet as, I think all of us feel that we complain about the rain. Of course, after we have the snow we did, then it's kind of like, we don't mind the rain. It's okay. It's all right. Mercy on us, please. Yeah, come rain, come back. But we've had so many dry nights. After I turn off my phones about 7 o'clock, at least I try to. And that's kind of my time. I get to spend it with my kids, and then I get to ride my horses. So I ride at night. And so I have an outdoor arena, and it's lit, and I can go ride my horse up and down the street. Kind of, I live down a private road, and so it's kind of fun. So I like to ride. So I've been riding since I was 6 years old. So I ride horses, and we run a horse rescue out of our property. And so I pay for all of that. They use our property, and so that's kind of a nice thing to help these animals. And help, and they give lessons. I have a barn manager now, so I was talking about leverage. So got a barn manager now because I can't take care of all this.
Even leveraging at home.
Even leveraging at home. So barn manager and part of
stay-at-home husband like I do, so they do a lot for us.
Yes. Hers fills her gas tank. Great story
she
there.
Does. Thanks, Dave.
Yes, absolutely. So here, having that in systems, in place at home, and having that really is what builds a greater life, because I can come home and I get to ride my horses, and so somebody's kind of taking care of that there, all of the maintenance, which is a lot.
And you show a lot.
We do in the summer. Yes, we show in the summer. So yes, I'm a mare that's number 5 in the world. Remember, you need to get to see her. You would look really good on her, by the way. So
well, next time I come out to
ride
horses,
so good.
Yeah.
Well, I don't have her. She's in Oregon.
Oh man, well, I'll have to go to Oregon with you.
She's beautiful and black,
tall. So I want you to hear too how Robin, she mentioned that she shuts her phone off at 7 o'clock, and I know that that's a really challenging thing for you and took a while for you to actually get to that part in your business. But it's so important to be able to, yes, we need to be available and accessible to our clients. All of us do. But we also have to be able to set up some type of boundary for life. And any client is going to understand that. Unless you say I'm available and accessible 24/7, then you're setting up that, she's available all the time. But how often have you really had a client that's going to email you at, 8 o'clock at night and be upset with you if you don't get something back to them that night? Now, obviously, in the real estate space, you've got offers that are going on and things, but you know what's happening right in that moment, when there might be one night that you have to be committed to making sure things are getting done when you're making offers. But for the most part, you can set up those boundaries, and it's important that we do that for ourselves. Robin's calendar looks just like mine. We were actually just comparing calendars. It's just completely packed with colors.
It's a Tetris game. That's what I say. It's like it's a Tetris game.
What's Tetris game?
And I know it's an old game. Is that something? Is that my mom used to play Tetris?
Oh, okay. Well, it's like Tetris game.
They're color blocks, and they seem to never go away. They just keep coming.
Yeah.
And they keep coming.
Which is good though, because Victoria has me all pink is personal, and blue is consultation. And so it's just nice to see that I know every second of the day what I'm going to do. And so I really don't have to even, we have personal time open, pink time. That's why you and I spontaneously are going to go have lunch with the team today, which wasn't planned, but I happen to be open. So anyway, so really being able to block your day and to set those times to where you have your personal time with yourself is really important as well. Yeah. So Robin, I thank you so much for joining me here with Coffee with a Superstar. Give me a coffee cheer. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you so much. And cheers, you guys. Thank you so much for being here and listening to our superstar. I hope that, again, it's inspiring and motivating for you to take your business to the next level, because that's really what I'm committed to as your local mortgage expert, to find as many ways that my team and myself can provide value to you. And I can't think of a better way than to help you grow your business and to really get you connected with the best of the best. So thanks for being here. Please join us again next Monday, same time, different location, for our next superstar. Make it a great day.